All right, what's going on, everyone? We are here at the Michigan Junior Chess Arena, and this is the second season of Michigan Junior Chess Arena, and we are end of the season, and now we're in the playoffs. We had 6 teams competing, Michigan Junior Chess Arena. I will give you the teams from last to first place. Bloomfield Bishops, Novi Knights, Bloomfield Bishops, Troy Tactics, Novi Knights, Rochester Heels Rooks made the playoffs, and they're the 3rd seed and then the Saginaw Sacrifice made the 2nd seed, and the Warren Woodpushers get the first round bye because they are the top team in the Michigan Junior Chess Arena this season. They won last season as well, I'm pretty sure they did. And they are a powerhouse, very versatile. So they will be playing Sunday, the winner of today's game. But today's game is the Saginaw Sacrifice versus the Rochester Rooks. Let me introduce you to some of the players. So for the Rochester Rooks, we have CPR Chess. This is one of the best players in the state, Charlie Reese. He's won multiple championships, especially K3 championship, and I even believe he might have been a K5 state champion at one point. Classic School is Aaron Liu. And I think that Aaron Liu is actually he's very young, and I think he's one of the top K3 players in the state. I believe he's 2nd or 3rd grade. Pretty soon there will be interviews coming up with some of these kids that we will also share with you. We're coming here sponsored by Michigan Chess Association. Make sure you go to michess.org, get all your information on the chess, especially during this pandemic. They have chess tournaments online on chess.com, and there's even a national tournament on ICC, but make sure you get that information from michess.org. They were kind enough to sponsor us here at the Michigan Junior Chess Arena. I am the coach, Coach Wilson, and I am the coach of the Implodians chess club, if you may, and I am also the commissioner of the Michigan Junior Chess Arena. Now back to the Rochester Rooks. We cover Classic School, Aaron Liu, one of the top K3 players in the country. And then Cool Peaceful Arrow. This is Ishan Pathak. He is the 3rd board for the Rochester Rooks. And then we have also Leon Ma, whose username is Leon some numbers. I forget his numbers there, but Leon is his username, and he is the 4th board. And then we have A Heel. I believe this is Alexander Hill, if I'm not mistaken, but he is the 4th board. Also has been doing pretty well, leading the 4th board of his team, Rochester Rooks. Now there are some prizes here. The team that wins first place will win $250 for a team prize. They will split that 5 ways. The second team will win $125 team prize, and that will be split 5 ways. And then the 3rd place team will win $75, and that will be split 5 ways as well. We also have some prizes for the All-Star team, and that is the top player on each board. There will be 5 players making the All-Star team on each board. That's the player who scored the highest on each of the boards, and they will be getting individual prizes. So even if you didn't make the playoffs, it's still a chance for you to win a prize, and that prize is donated to you by Implodian Chess. Donated to you by Implodian Chess. All-Star game prizes. All right, so that covers the Rochester Hills Rooks. Then the number 2 seed, the Saginaw Sacrifice, is led by Super Samrat. This is Samrat Zagade, who played last season as well. Really strong player, around a 1600 player. He has been great this season. The 2nd board is Siddharth Menon. Username is SME8N. Siddharth Menon is a veteran player, has been in many state tournaments as well, and has won trophies in his own right. 3rd board is Determined Octopus. Ria Desai, representing Novi. She is the 3rd board for the Saginaw Sacrifice. And then the last season's MVP season 1 MVP of the Michigan Junior Arena is Little Almond, and this is Andy Kwan. Little Almond went regular season last year undefeated in that regular season, and so he is the defending MVP. And he is trying to lead another team to a championship here, Little Almond. And Saginaw's fifth board is a new player, but I mean, you better watch out for him. It's young Elijah Billings. I mean, this kid is only 6 years old, I believe. Elijah Billings, and his username is Top Madhouse. Elijah Billings, all of his older brothers play chess. You're talking about Henry Billings, Wesley Billings, and Sidney Billings. The Billings brothers are no joke when it comes to the chessboard, so looking forward to watching him. Top Madhouse will be playing A Hill. Little Almond will be playing Leon. 357. Determined Octopus will play Q Peaceful Arrow. And SME 8N will be playing Class of School. And the top matchup today, Board 1 versus Board 1, is Super Samrat against CPR Chess. That is going to be a heck of a matchup. Now, let's get into the games. Give me a second, and I'm going to pull the games right back. All right, and we are off. I do apologize. The time is kind of off, so I'm going to have to fix this, I believe. I'm going to have to fix this time here. Okay. All right, there we go. We got the time a little bit better here. Um, Here we are. So now we have Super Samrat versus CPR Chess. These top games usually take the longest, so we'll come back to this game later. Let's just break down a little bit of how it started. So we see CPR Chess. Now each player has to play 2 games, one black, one white. And whatever team has the most at the end. Now, if those games are in a tie, we're going to do 5-minute games. Okay, 5-minute games if it ends in a tie, which it could possibly do. That could possibly happen. But here CPR Chess played E4, and Super Samrat is playing what we call the French defense. And what the French defense is, an anti-space defense. It uses the 2 pawns in the center as targets. But here, CPR chess doesn't even mess with that. He trades and does the exchange French here. And funny thing, Super Samurai plays Queen E6. I guess he really wants to get the pieces off the board. And it looks like Super Samurai is okay with a draw against CPR chess and then taking his chances with white. And so Super Samurai is actually doing a pretty good job here. And Super Samurai is a pretty good in-game player. As you can see, after bishop b5, we see this move bishop to... Now, this could be a problem here. I will say that. This could be a problem. You don't want to play rook c8 because bishop to b7 will fork the rook and the bishop and the pawn. He's going to win a pawn here. So maybe you have to play something like rook b8, but then the other rook is coming. So Charlie Reese is really putting the clamps down on this open file, on the open E file here. So maybe Super Samurai from this direction, he's planning on going to rook c7, which is a clever move. Because after rook c7, okay, so now Charlie, what he did is he opened up the diagonal a little bit more for his bishop to escape by taking here in the center. But he did give up the center here. Oh, now Super Samurai goes knight takes. And I don't know if I really like that move. I actually really don't like that move because all that did was give up the rook, the exchange here. So that was a pretty bad move there. And I believe Charlie Reese is just winning this game up the exchange here. Okay, he takes the knight. Oh, wow, okay. Then pawn takes, probably you're going to have to take that. Or maybe not. You don't have to take it. You can move your rook away. Oh, he takes on f7 with check. Wow. Probably have to go bishop takes f7. Because king takes f7 runs it to knight to e5. So bishop takes f7 and then h takes g, b3. And here Charlie Reese has a big advantage. This is a winning game for Charlie Reese. He's not only going to be up a pawn, he's also going to have a rook for a bishop. And plus he has the target of this isolated pawn too that he can use, targeting, he controls the d4 square in front of the pawn. This doesn't look good for Super Samurai. That was a big time blunder there. Now, he could even play b4 here because the a5 pawn is pinned. That was a big blunder, especially when you have more time. Just let everybody know out there that if you have a 30-minute game, as long as you think for 30 seconds or more, for instance, if you took 30 seconds, a move, and the average game lasts 40 moves, at the end of this average game, you would have used 20 minutes of your time. That means if the game went over the average length of a game, you would have 10 minutes to finish whatever's left of an average game, which is usually at an end game where you can take more time, or you don't need as much time in most of those situations. You could be winning by material, whatever it might be. So remember, 30, you should think at least 30 seconds per move if you're playing a 30-minute game. So I believe Super Samurai made a quick decision. Now look at this nice knight on d4. He could go to b5, c6 in some situations. Of course, like I said, b4 attacks the weakness on a5. That could be an isolated pawn. The rook is dominating the file. This is just very bad. I mean, very bad for Super Samurai here. And here already, it looks like Charlie Reese is clamping down. Now, Super Samurai traded away his bad bishop here. Now he's gonna try to take this knight and beat a rook and an extra pawn. But look how Charlie Reese does the Steinitz rule. He stops the advanced squares for the knight here. Now king to f7 attacks the rook. You might see rook to e1 and dominate the file here, but you got to watch it now, because after rook e1, there's a really cool move, knight to e4. And that might be a way that Super Samurai could try to draw. Now, we'll say that he could win a pawn, which gives you 2 pawns up. After knight e4, then after rook takes e4, pawn takes e4, rook takes e4, now white is up 2 pawns. Even though one of his pawns, extra pawns, are doubled. I don't know if Super Samurai can hold that. That is a, he can try to. But that would be very, very hard for him to hold. All right, and that happened. So after knight e4, Charlie does not take the pawn. Now that could have been, I would say he should have thought about taking this knight here deeper, because having 2 extra pawns is a win as well. And then you don't even have, and you can really simplify the position, but then he goes back to f6, and this is going to be a battle for Super Samurai. So let's go to another game here. I'm going to switch to the second board here. 1 second. So if we go to the, let's go to the bottom board here. And there we go. Yeah. Okay. So the bottom board was, which is the 5th board. This is A Hill versus Top Madhouse. And this was the first game. Now, hey, these are the lower rated kids, and some of them are, actually all of them are beginners. So we're gonna see games where it's gonna go by pretty fast, right? Even though it's 30 minutes. So here, after e4, e6, Top Madhouse is black, A Hill is white. A Hill is representing the Rochester Rooks. And after c5, you see this queen g4 move aiming at the g7 pawn. Here, Madhouse plays g6, bishop to d2, developing a piece. And then he goes bishop to d4, hoping to play bishop takes b2. Knight c3 came, then knight f6 attacks the queen. He moves the queen out of the way. And then he goes knight to c6, developing another piece. Of course, knight f3. So both players are developing pieces here. But then he trades here and brings his bishop on this really nice diagonal, pinning the knight to the rook. And here, he actually makes a pretty decent move. He forks the queen and the bishop. But then he goes back. which is a mistake. He should have just went knight takes c3, b takes c3, and then a takes, let's say here, and then let's go queen a5 or something like that, or maybe even castle. But this looks like this is a good move. You're threatening to fork the king and the rook. That was good, or just simply castle. Now when he moved back, and if we look at the time, well, it doesn't show the time now, but he had to make this move fast without even thinking. Because once he made this move, you see that there's two attackers on f6. So he takes with the bishop, which forks the queen and the rook. He goes check here, which is a good way to escape with the queen. But then after rook f8, I guess he could have castled, but that looks very dangerous. Now you see the queen coming in. He's threatening h7. Madhouse is trying his best. He is attacking a piece of greater value, but then you have bishop g7 here. Queen e4 check, bishop e2, and then rook g8. And then you have queen takes h7. His rook is trapped, so he takes a piece. d5, he's doing this because he planned on castling, but it might be a little too late for that. And then everything just goes because his king is in the center. And black resigned after this. And so in the first game, A Hill for his team Rochester Rooks beats top Madhouse. Now if we go to the next game, because these guys finished both games in a heartbeat. But see, that's a lesson everyone should learn. The top players will take all their time. The lower players will move fast and their games are over because there's way more mistakes in the lower players' games. It's because they're moving way too fast. So now, top Madhouse plays again A Hill. And this time colors has switched. Top Madhouse is white. So e4, e5, knight f3. Everybody develops pretty well here. He plays d3. He could have played bishop c4 instead. Now top Madhouse is trading. There's no reason to trade here. But he's still doing good in development. Castle. And now here, I think top Madhouse did a good job here because he's opening up the center while the king is in the center. That's what you want to do. Now here, I believe he should have played something like bishop to f3, attacking a piece more times to protect it, because if bishop takes, we don't want to take right now. We will just take here first. Take here, go check here first. That stops him from castling. And then we'll take the bishop while the king is stuck in the center. But here he plays c4. He takes en passant. And here he takes time to, this is again this is a bad move for A Hill because of course we can play bishop f3. He takes, we check first. He does play bishop f3 and all he had to do was check first before taking back. And then the king will be stuck in the center and it's there for you to attack. But he takes here and then he castles. He gets a chance to castle and that's the problem. But here, top Madhouse he is threatening the b7 square. He did defend that square really well. Now we can take on g7, but that would be a big mistake because if we go queen g4, he takes the queen. But I'm just going to show you guys if queen g4 here and then take. This is going to win us the game here once the queen moves away. So we can't do that. So he did trade queens. What's happening here? Oh, okay, I see. And there's a bunch of trades, but black is up one pawn. And he does not realize the check. So this is what I'm saying. When you move fast, you don't look at what your opponent is doing and you miss the back rank checkmate, back rank, and that's game over. So A Hill wins 2 games for his team Rochester Rooks. So we are, I mean, that puts the Rochester Rooks up 2-0 so far, as we know. We're gonna check on the other games, but that should put them up 2-0. And there we go. 2-0 there. Rochester Rooks are up 2-0. I'm going to actually. All right. Next game here, we're gonna look at the fourth board. And the fourth board is, let's see, Little Almond versus, no, actually, let's look at the third board, because Little Almond and Leon has got a late start. So let's look at Determined Octopus and Cool Peaceful Arrow. Cool Peaceful Arrow. Determined Octopus here. There you guys go. Rochester Rooks are up 2-0 now. They're going to play the best out of 10 games. They're playing 10 games today. Whoever has the most out of 10 will go on to the championship. So it's Determined Octopus here. Let's look at her game. All right, so they are still in their first game. Both these players are around the same online rating. Cool Peaceful Arrow is 1660. Determined Octopus is 1704. All right, here we go. And when we look at this game, this looks like Cool Peaceful Arrow is in some big trouble. He's down a rook for pretty much nothing. Let's look at how this game started. This is a Owens defense. Cool Peaceful Arrow has these two nice pawns in the center. And Black has already equalized in this game. And look at how Rhea Desai, even though Cool Peaceful Arrow has the space advantage, Rhea Desai is definitely used to this position. Look at how her knights are circling in. I think she's played this really, really well. Wow, and look at that. So what she did here is she tried to get rid of the knight by playing, and I will say the career record in this matchup is Determined Octopus is up 3 games in their record overall online. So Determined Octopus was favored here. Cool Peaceful Arrow had to play G3 in order to stop the checkmate. Wow, but see, one thing is she could have played, oh, she couldn't do that. All right. And then here, now she's threatening H2. And C4, C5 is an interesting move. It's a knight versus a bishop. Goes queen, threaten queen, takes D5 here, but there's a knight F3 siding here, and this is gonna hurt. Knight F3, and then knight takes, she took the wrong thing, by the way. She should have definitely went knight takes bishop, which forks the rook and the queen. But instead, she takes the rook. Oh, and look at this move. Question number 2, attacking a piece more times to protect it. And look at, this is really nice. She brings the king to F8 so she can play rook E8. And there you go. That's how you lose the piece here. And here she's just up a rook and she has to be very accurate to finish this game like it's supposed to be. And it looks like she has pretty much done a good job of that. But she cannot allow a perpetual check. Wow, she cannot allow a perpetual check. But okay, so now she avoided that. And the only saving grace for white is to find a perpetual check against Black's king. And she has to watch it because the threat is queen to D1 check, forking. Oh, and she falls for it. Queen D1 attacks the rook and the king. Oh man, oh no. She fell for it. Oh, and that is gonna put white back into the game. And it's just 3 pawns versus 3 pawns here. What is she trying to do? Is she trying to mate with the king and the queen? I do not know. But that is turning everything around. So now black is no longer winning. Actually, she has to really watch out because, I mean, you got F3 coming here, Queen E2 check. You got to watch it with this king coming up here. But she's probably at this point kind of punch drunk at that mistake. And remember, guys, when you make a mistake, it's good to get up, get some water, come back, refocus, because you don't want to do what we call crying at the chessboard. What that means is it's not always the mistake you made that loses you the game, but the moves that you make after the mistake. That's because you're so emotional that you're just making moves that make your position irretrievable. Like you can't even, it's not even, you can't even salvage the position anymore. See, for instance, like she just lost a pawn here. So now, after, this is a win, because after queen takes h5, king takes h5, and then pawn takes, this passed pawn over here is gone. I mean, that pawn is gone. And you can't catch the pawn because you have to be inside the box of the pawn in order to catch it. And you can't catch it. The box is 3. Look at that. Wow. Cool piece for arrow comes back. Oh my goodness. To win this game. And so I'm going to go to another game because I think this is, I mean, hey, it's possible that this could be a draw or something. That's possible. But this should be a clear win for this caliber of players. I believe this is going to be a win here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it down. Wow. Unbelievable. So cool piece for arrow for the Rochester Rooks. Man, snatches a win from determined octopus, which was a clear rook. And that gives, hey, this will be an upset if Rochester Rooks beat the Saginaw Sacrifice, because right now it is 3-0. Rochester Rooks are winning 3-0. And remember, CPR chess in the first board, the battle of the first board, Super Samrat versus CPR chess. Hey, CPR chess against the higher rated Super Samrat. CPR chess was winning by an exchange. We're going to visit that game again here. Let's check on the second board here, because this game is all but over. So the second board is SME8 versus Classic School. We also have Little Almond and Leon. Little Almond and Leon, who I'm pretty sure just got underway. We'll check in on that. Okay, so here we go. So right now, Classic School and SME8 is playing. Classic School is the higher rated player at 1631, and 1511 is SME8. So Classic School is actually favored in this game here. But if we look at this position here, man, Classic SME8, it has a good position. I think this is a pretty decent position. Why do I think that? Because there's a backwards pawn on C2. There's a weakness on A2. There is a pin that we can use with queen to B4 because the bishop is pinned to the queen. So for instance, he wants to go bishop takes H6, but if we pin him with this move queen to B4, there will be no bishop. Yeah, there will be no bishop to H6 because of queen takes G4. So the weaknesses is why I say black's position is pretty decent. Even though black is down a pawn, I believe this pawn is not significant here because the activity of black. Now black misses that. He instead goes king to H7. But there's still weaknesses on C2. I predict maybe he can go bishop to E3. He could try queen. Now you can go queen F5 because G6, he will go queen takes F6. So that queen F5 will probably take him all the way back to G8 again, or maybe to H8. I would say no. Whoa. queen f5, king g8, and then bishop takes h6, and you're going to win the pawn anyway. Because if g takes, you still go queen takes f6. So this should lose a pawn, actually. I think this is losing after queen f5. That's going to lose another pawn. Okay, but let's go back. Let's go to the game between Super Samrat. This game has a lot left. Let's go to the game Super Samrat and CPR chess. And they're still playing. Okay, so the first game, yep, it happened. So CPR chess. Wait a minute. It's not even looking close with these. So Cool Piece for Arrow has won. CPR chess has won the first game. He's won the first game there, and that means right now, at this moment, the Rochester Rooks, who gets in as a third seed barely by beating the Novi Knights for the playoffs, are actually leading. Okay, they're leading the Saginaw Sacrifice 4-0. 4-0. Now, remember, it's the best out of 10. So if they win 6 games out of 10, if they win 2 more games, the match is over, and Rochester Rooks have completed the upset. And what an upset that would be. The Saginaw Sacrifice was once first place in the league for a while. Warren was first, and Saginaw came back, and then Warren beat Saginaw. But Saginaw only had 1 loss during the regular season. 1 loss. And that was to Warren, I believe. It was to Warren. And so for Rochester Rooks, who had many losses, I believe they had, I don't know, at least 4 losses, I believe, in the regular season. But today, when you get to the playoffs, you have a chance to play your best game. Looks like these players are playing their best here. 4-0 is the score. And this is the current game between the second game between Super Samrat and CPR chess. And if we look at this position right now, it looks really weird. It looks really weird here. Now I'm looking at maybe we got to play d5 because we don't want to open up this file at all. But here he plays h5. Now let's look at how this happened, because this is strange here. a6. That's very weird. Oh, wow. So Super Samurai gives up the G2 pawn. Wow, that looks like a big mistake. But hey, he is. Wow. So I might have played this move. Well, I would say h4, but I guess he didn't. And this is a problem. The king is in the center. Wow, he castles to the queen side here. Now h5 is coming. So Super Samurai is going for it all on the king side. Maybe his plan is to play. He can play bishop f4, or he can play rook to g1. I will be looking at rook g1 and bishop f6 or bishop h6. That's what I'll be looking at. But this bishop is definitely hanging, so he has to watch that. Maybe he has to play this move bishop to d3. But that's what he's thinking. He's playing rook here. Very interesting. I don't know how much time he has to do this, but he could play bishop to h6 after pawn takes and just do a sacrifice, because I believe that sacrifice is gonna make it very hard for black, even though he sacrificed the bishop here. So this is gonna require some thought from CPR chess here in this game. But so he does take. Wow, that's a big decision. That was a really big decision here. Now Samurai has to figure if he's gonna play e takes. That would be the best way to take back. or just leave the bishop for a sacrifice. Now, queen takes d4. Looks like you're aiming at this and you might have some opportunities, but the problem is he gets to play this move e5 and stop your ambitions on that square, but he does it anyway. What is he thinking? I don't know. Maybe he's gonna play queen h4. Maybe that's what he's thinking there. That could be what it is. So after e5, you play something like queen h4, keeping the defense of the bishop on c4, threatening bishop f6 and bishop h6, because it is very bad on this diagonal. Or maybe would he sacrifice the queen? Can he sacrifice? Let's see. Pawn push, bishop h6, or bishop f6. He takes the queen, then you take with the check. Ooh, you might be able to sacrifice this queen after bishop f6. So queen e5, bishop f6, e takes d4, and then rook takes g7 check, and you're in a boomerang situation. And after king to h8, whoa, wait a minute. King h8, you go rook takes f7 check, king h8, king g8, rook g7 check, king to king back to h8, then rook takes c7 check, king back to g8, then rook back to g7 check. Oh man, yeah, that might be worth it. Whoa, and he sacrifices. Oh my God. Super Samurai goes for it. Now, I will say this. It looks like black probably should not take this, right? Black should play g6. And I wonder if you can still sacrifice after g6. We take, whoa, he takes the queen. Oh, then you probably can still sacrifice. Looks like that's going to be checkmate. So after g6, take on g6, e takes d4, and then take on f7 check, mate. Wow, that is terrific sacrifice by Super Samurai. Now he can play g6, and you take with the h pawn. But you're probably going to have to take with the bishop now. Well, wait a minute. No, you can't do that. You take here. Yeah, you take with the bishop and you're fine. And then Super Samurai is going to go bishop takes e5. And then everything should be okay. Whoa, what happened there? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. That didn't look good. So rook takes check. Oh, wow. The problem is, but what if I sacrifice my queen for the knight? Oh, he does. He takes on g7 check. Now, what if I go queen takes knight after king h8? Man. He could do that. Wow, this is something here. This game. Now I don't like what he did there. Now, see, that was a blunder. I do not like what he did there, because now you have knight takes. Oh, but he's gonna take. Wait, is he gonna take the queen? I guess. Yeah, I don't understand his idea there. Because you just look like he's just trading down here, and he doesn't have enough material just to trade down. So rook takes here, and he's just down a piece. That was a big mistake by Super Samurai. That did not work. You're just down a piece, sir. So now you have to take this pawn back this way, because you don't want to go c takes d4 because of rook c8. Rook takes c8, rook takes c8, and you're going to also lose this bishop because of its pin to the king. So that was a blunder. It was a nice sacrifice. Now, he does have 2 pawns for the piece. He should have 2 pawns for the piece by going e takes d4. But, man, the position he had before is not the same. That is a severe blunder by Super Samurai. Now, let me go back to what should have happened. I think queen takes d7, giving up the queen. And then after queen takes d7, I definitely think it should be queen takes d7. But I guess you could go bishop takes, but that's going to make it worse. Because once you go bishop takes d7, then he's going to go rook takes f7 check. And look, we forgot about the bishop. That's on c4. So after rook takes f7, king g8. Yo, it's going to be rook takes. Wait a minute. Was that checkmate? Wait a minute. So after queen takes d7, right? Let's say queen takes d7, then rook takes f7 check. He has to go to g8, and then rook takes d7. The bishop is checking the king. Wow, that would have been checkmate. Actually, I wish I could analyze this game right now, but I don't think I can. I wish I could, but I'm pretty sure, guys, that the move queen takes d7, bishop takes d7, rook takes f7 check. He has to go king g8, right? Rook back to g7, have to go to h8, right? First of all, I could get a draw anytime I want to, by the way. And then he goes rook takes d7, have to go back to g8. Rook back to g7, have to go back to h8. Rook back to c7, check. Where does he go then? He goes nowhere because the bishop is checking the king, and the king doesn't have g8 because of the bishop here. So that looks like checkmate. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Now I will say this, in the season series, Super Samrat has won 14 to 11 games. So for CPR Chess to come up and win these games against Super Samrat is a big thing for him. But this already looks like bad thing. If Super Samrat could even try to muster out a draw, I would be surprised. Now I will say this, it does look like Charlie Reese is getting a little bit of winning disease. You don't want to have that disease. Remember, winning disease is a very terrible disease where you're not making the best moves because you feel like you're winning. You got to watch this rook g1 and rook to g8 move here. But look like CPR Chess should be winning after, I believe, that the terrific queen takes d7. Let's see this again now. I'm going to make sure there was no checks that we missed. Yo, queen takes d7. Oh my God, there is no other checks on the board. Queen takes d7. That's game. That's game, folks. Queen takes d7. It's just going to be the windmill. This is the windmill checkmate, by the way, guys. The windmill checkmate is in effect. Wow. That is it's tremendous. Wow. Okay. Well, he misses that. So we're gonna go to another game. Man, this was a really, really good game. And right now, I believe this is losing. Charlie Reese is just tightening up the screws here, up a piece. There's no way out for this. He's gonna have to move his, and actually he can't even move anywhere because after rook check, that's game over. Checkmate. And Charlie Reese wins 2 times. Now, since we here, let's look at this game. Because, I mean, it had sacrifices, counterpunch, defense. What a game, but we got to look at this position here. We got to look at this position here and see, was this even a move here? Instead of rook takes f7, how about queen takes d7? Boom! There it goes. There's Stockfish. Yes, it is checkmate in 5. Queen takes d7. It don't even want him to take the queen. You can't even take the queen, right? Funny thing is, you can move the queen here. You still can't take the queen. You can't take anything. H6. Rook takes F7 check. King G8. And rook takes F8. And King H7. And then bishop G8. Checkmate. Oh my goodness. Now, the variation we looked at, we didn't look at him running away from the queen, which you got to do. You can't even take the queen. But let's say he did take with the bishop. Then you have, oh, it's just checkmate in one. Just rook. Oh, the simple rook G1. We didn't even have to windmill. Rook G1. Now, what if we take with the queen? Is it still rook G1? Yes, rook G1. Rook G1 is game over. Now, what I was looking at was fancy. I was looking at the fancy way, even though rook G1 is a straight checkmate. If he goes bishop takes, I'm looking at we could take here, you go back, we can go here, you go back, we take this. Even though all of this is checkmate, right? Oh, you can't even move there. You would have to move here. Wait, what would you do? Oh, okay, you would have to actually take the bishop. All right, you have to take the bishop, so we wouldn't want to do that. We would just want to go rook G8, double check. Oh my goodness. What a miss there for Super Samurai. But CPR Chess stayed in the game there. And congratulations to him winning 2 games against Super Samurai. And hey guys, Rochester has 5 wins. That's right. They have 5 wins. 5. So that means 1 more win from the Rochester Rooks, and guess what? The upset is complete. 1 more win for the Rochester Rooks, and the upset is complete. Sorry about this. I'm gonna move this over so we can see this better. The Saginaw Sacrifice have 0. The Rochester Rooks have 5. Hey, Saginaw has to get on the board. So Super Samurai and CPR Chess, they're done. So let's go to Little Almond against Leon. And let's see if Leon wins this game against Little Almond, that's it. That means Rochester Rooks would have won the match. Best out of 10, 6 games wins. And here, are they? Yep, they are playing now, but what are they doing? Oh no, they are not playing now. What happened here? Oh, wait a minute, they did play, and Little Almond did win both games. So Little Almond is trying his best to bring Saginaw back. Little Almond wins both games. And that was very, very quick. So both of these players moving very fast, but Little Almond held it down. You know, hey, that is former MVP, Little Almond, the future of the Implodians, by the way. And Little Almond had white here. He's playing a London system. And as you can see, Leon is doing a good job. He's doing an okay job here. But white castles to the other side here, which is weird. Whoa, look at that check. Ooh. What's happening here? Why did, oh, he took there. F4. Take. He's bringing a knight to the center of the board. Oh, look at that. And look at the knight. Wow. Look at how Little Almond attacks the light squares around the king. And the knight, you have to take the knight because there's nowhere else for the king to move, and he loses his queen. And there you go, he resigns. So Little Almond wins the first game. And then Little Almond plays him with black, and of course, if Leon could win one of these games, he wins it for his team. So with the black pieces, with the white pieces now, Leon, if he wins this game, can win for his team. And he plays the London system too, even though I don't think he's played this before. Obviously he didn't, because he does give up a pawn here. Bishop to a6 should cover that. Check here, okay. And he castles to the queen side, which is not common. But look at what he's trying to do. He's trying to open the position because the king is in the center, which is what he should have done. But, oh, he brings the knight back to d2. And then almond castles. And here he trades here. And he is down a pawn. So white is up a pawn here. And little almond is bringing in reinforcements. And here, little almond, Leon resigns the game here. And so that means little almond wins both the games. And so, hey guys, they're on the board. They have 2 points now. There you go. Saginaw sacrifice 2. Rochester Rooks have 5. If Rochester Rooks win 1 more game, that's it. So now let's go to let's do SME8 and Classic School. That was a game that was still going on. Or maybe Determined Octopus. No, let's do SME8. And he's playing Classic School. They were still on their first game. SME8 needs to win to keep Saginaw involved. A draw will lose the game too. They have to win all the rest of the games. And SME8 does win. Wow. He does win, which gives them 1 game here. Now let's look at this game from SME8. Okay. And SME8 is black, and he has these double pawns where looks like he wants to use this file. Oh, and Classic Schools notices that pawn there. And he does castle, which is a good move here. Now, I think he should have took with the bishop, though. Take with the bishop because there could be some tactics on h2. Tactics on h2 here. All right. Takes with the pawn. That pawn is also going to be a target on this open file. You don't want to isolate your pawn and put it on the open file as well. But for SME8 to win this game, like I said, he had a good position. Look at that move. Rook c5. Now, I thought that he would lose a pawn here, and he did. He did lose a pawn. So that was good tactics by Classic School. But then he takes... Wow. But look at what SME8 has. Even though he's down 2 pawns, he has this really good passed pawn here. And it is a little bit faster. Look at that. Wow. And look at that move there. And so it's the advantage of a passed pawn that SME8 used, and there you go. And he resigned. Of course, because, well, the thing is, let's say you take here, I go queen takes, you go rook takes, whoops. You go rook takes, and then I will just go rook here. And I'm gonna queen next move. Is there any other way for us to protect the queening square? I do not see it. We can even play here, but you're still gonna just take the queen and then bring the other rook down. So that's a really good job by SME8 there to win that clutch game. Now, they are supposed to be playing another game, but I do not see them playing another game. So hopefully they do play another game, because you're supposed to play 2. That was the directions. But it looks like... Oh, whoa. You have to refresh this again. I don't know. It don't look like they played another game. They did not. So they only played one game and they have one game to go. So that might hurt Saginaw. But let's go to who hasn't finished their game. So Classic School, SME8 has won a game. So that gives them 4. So we can correct the score here. Little Almond had 2, SME8. Oh, I'm sorry, not 4. I'm sorry. That gives them 3. And so it's 5-3. And now we go to Determined Octopus against Cool Peaceful Arrow. Now, Cool Peaceful Arrow wins this game. He won one already where he shouldn't have won. Remember, that was a miracle game that he won. If he wins this next game, he wins the semifinals for his team. And they are playing right now. Determined Octopus has to win. Even a draw does not work. And tell you the truth, I don't see how Determined Octopus could even win this game. Determined Octopus here was white here. Pretty good play by white here. You got double pawns here, weak d5 square. A lot of stuff going on here. Looks like you can go queen h5 and game looks to be, this might be over with. If he just goes queen h5, what do you do about bishop to e4? This looks like a bad deal here, but she misses that. Still queen h5 here, but she goes queen to b3. So this is a game with opposite color bishops. Is basically whoever gets to attack each other's king the best is going to win, because black can always attack the dark squares more than white can defend it because the opposite color of bishops. Got bishop takes here. Wow. And then how about, okay, I see. Oh, she got in rook e1, but what about bishop to, right, bishop to e4, threatening checkmate. Wow, bishop e4. How do you stop the checkmate? You got to play f5, bishop takes, and then f6. Wow. Bishop, oh, now it's not the same. Takes check there. Uh-oh. Wow. And here white does have an extra pawn. How does she lose that pawn here? Does have an extra pawn. Oh, that's how. Okay. White has extra pawn, and white can't draw this game. Whoa. And here, this is a take here. And this is a draw. This is a draw. There's nothing white can do about it, because you can never advance this pawn. Wow. Wow. Now, if Cool Peaceful Arrow draws this game, this would win the match for the Rochester Rooks. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, he missed his king takes there. See, the thing is, Cool Peaceful Arrow realizes he doesn't ever have to move the king, ever. He goes back and forth, and that's going to be a draw. And that should win the game. That should win the game, or win the match for the Rochester Rooks, officially. The king never has to move. This is, guys, this is the advantage of, this is the difference with the opposite color bishops. One of the most drawish end games you can have is bishops of opposite color. Even if you have 2 extra pawns, sometimes that's not even enough when the other person has bishops of opposite color, because they can control the squares in front of the pawns that you have with the king and the bishop. And so cool piece for arrow is just going back and forth and saying, hey, this is a draw. We're on move 87 there. Cool piece for arrow is trying to figure something out, but he's never moving his king. All right, so that should clinch the match. But let's check in on Little Almond and Leon here. Let's check in here. Oh, I'm sorry. We already had Little Almond, so they're done, actually. So they are done. The top Madhouse and A-Hill is done. Cool Piece for Arrow and Determined Octopus, they were done. The only ones, and CPR Chess. SME8 is the only one that was left, I believe. He's the only one that was left here against Classic School. Oh, but they only played one game there. That's right. They only played one game, so looks like they were done because they forgot to play another game. It might not even matter, to tell you the truth. So the only game that's left is Determined Octopus. And Cool Peaceful Arrow. And it's official. That game is a draw. So that gives let's see. So that gives Saginaw Sacrifice. Now we're gonna update this. This is 3.5 and Rook's 5.5. And also, so that should do it because there was one missing game. But even if SME8 would have won that game, that would have gave the Saginaw Sacrifice 4.5. And the Rochester Rooks would have won with 5.5, which would have been a close match, but not enough. So that draw by Cool Piece for Arrow solidified the win for the Rochester Rooks. So there's an upset there. Big upset by the Rochester Rooks. Can the Rochester Rooks, who just snuck into the playoffs, they were behind in Novi Knights and snuck into the playoffs, can they actually win the Michigan Junior Arena League Championship? We will see Sunday, this Sunday coming up, we will see if they could win the championship. But these games were amazing. You're talking about a big upset victory from Charlie Reese against Samrat Zagarde, that's Super Samrat and CPR Chess, where Samrat had mates with the terrific Queen Sacrifice on D7. And also Cool Peaceful Arrow winning a game where he's down a whole rook against Determined Octopus. It was so much drama in today's games at the Michigan Junior Chess Arena League. So Sunday, we know the matchup now. Warren Wood Pushers, the defending world champions, will be playing the Rochester Rooks on Sunday. Now, just to let you guys know, we have season 3 coming up. The information for that will be given to everyone on Sunday before the match. All that information will be given out to everyone so you can sign up for the new season. And this is going to be the season of August Michigan Junior Arena League. Things are going to be different there, but I will be giving out details for that. Also, we got a tournament coming out, a weekly tournament, one day for a couple of hours. Is called The Beast Arena. And how this tournament goes is there's going to be a player that no one knows who this is, and he's going to be the Beast. And the only way we find out who the beast is if we beat him. And if you beat him for first place, of course, there's going to be prizes for everyone as well. But if you beat him for first place, then you will become the beast. And so that tournament, those details will be coming out soon. We're doing some big things here at Michigan Junior Chess Arena. Thanks for Michigan Chess Association for sponsoring Michigan Junior Chess Arena League. We really appreciate it. Shout out to the president, Jeff Aldrich, and all the board members from Timothy, Kuhn, TC, Giannis, Sal, Chayib, Stanley, Bradley. What's going on, everyone? Anyone that I forgot? Manmahan, Lauren, everybody from that Michigan Chess Association who has supported our juniors here in the state of Michigan and in online chess. Make sure you check out their online chess tournaments that they have on chess.com. Make sure you hit up michess.org to see those chess tournaments, or Michigan Chess Association Facebook page to see what's going on in Michigan as far as online chess while we're doing this quarantine. Hey, we're done for today. What an upset. Rochester Rooks beat the Saginaw Sacrifice. I cannot wait for the Warren Wood Pushers and the Rochester Rooks matchup on Sunday. All right, for the Michigan Chess Association and for the Michigan Junior Chess Arena, I am Coach Wilson. Implodian out.